an burada bir oyuk var. Evim hali bu şekilde. Tam temizlik yapıyordum. Evet, Emir orada. Şu an çok bu kadar. Binada burada bir hasar var.
Ne oldu abi?
Deprem.
Deprem mi böyle yaptı? Ama hiç sarsılmadı. Hadi yapmayın.
Çok sağlam deprem oluyor. Ne korkuyorsun lan?
This Wednesday night, the wildfire emergency in New Jersey at this hour, triggering air quality alerts all the way into New York City and Long Island for tonight and tomorrow. Look at the images tonight. More than 12,000 acres already burning, thousands forced to evacuate at this hour. The power's still out for many more. It could be the worst wildfire in New Jersey in 20 years. Trevor Rowe on the scene for us.
Tonight, a state of emergency in southern New Jersey. An explosive wildfire tripling in size in less than 24 hours.
This could very well end up being the largest wildfire in New Jersey in 20 years.
The Jones Road fire reported around 9:45 Tuesday morning about 90 miles south of New York City in Barnegat Township, quickly spreading to neighboring communities.
We're gonna lose this.
Volunteer firefighter Mike Berger shooting this video on the scene. The flames jumping the Garden State Parkway during rush hour, officials forced to shut it down for miles overnight. This commercial building left in ruins, and authorities cutting power to some 25,000 homes and businesses.
This fire right now is staying low to the ground. It's burning down in the brush. These are all the pine barrens down here, so there's plenty of fuel to make this fire burn.
3,000 people forced to flee.
The authorities were knocking on everyone's door, letting us know to evacuate.
Yanira Luna, one of many making use of emergency shelters. In just over a day, the Jones Road fire destroying 12,500 acres.
And David, officials say new hotspots continue to pop up. You see several of them smoldering here behind me. Crews will be battling this fire for days, and it could char thousands more acres.
David, Trevor Roll, thanks for being on the scene for us. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg of our station here in New York, WABC. And Lee, as you heard, these air quality alerts spread right into New York City tonight and tomorrow.
Indeed, David, and there's already a hint of haze in New York City, but skies could be a lot smokier tomorrow. Air quality alerts in effect near the fire in South Jersey, but they'll start at midnight in New York City, Long Island, the Hudson Valley. The winds are shifting. Let's track the smoke. It'll reach New York City during the late evening, but the winds strengthen during the day tomorrow, and that could spread some of that smoke all the way to the Hudson Valley and even into Connecticut, meaning poor air quality for really sensitive groups. Now, we'll get some rainy relief with this over the weekend. That's coming from a storm in the middle of the country. Severe weather tonight over the plains from Texas to Kansas. Maybe some damaging winds and hail, scattered storms over the southeast. David?
Lee Goldberg back with
Ukraine's Air Force says Russia launched more than 200 drones and missiles in a massive aerial attack across the country overnight. The Ukrainian capital of Kyiv was the primary target. Officials in the city say at least 8 people were killed and dozens wounded, and that includes children. In response to that attack, the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announced he's cutting today's visit to South Africa short. Now, the strike comes as President Trump accuses the Ukrainian leader of harming peace negotiations with Russia after Zelensky said his country would not recognize Russian control of Crimea.
I think Russia is ready, and a lot of people said Russia wanted to go for the whole thing. And they've I think we have a deal with Russia. We have to get a deal with Zelensky, and I hope that Zelensky, I thought it might be easier to deal with Zelensky. So far, it's been harder.
For more on this, let's bring in Michael Bosacue now. He's a senior fellow at the Atlantic Council's Eurasia Center. And Michael, you just recently returned from the southern Ukrainian city of Odessa. So I want to get your reaction to that. You had this overnight attack by Russia, plus other recent attacks. Does this signal the Kremlin is not interested in a peace deal? And why do you think President Trump is saying it's more difficult to deal with Zelensky than Putin?
Yeah, good to be with you again, Errol. Well, it's, as President Zelensky said, one of the most brazen and complex attacks by the Russian side. Drones, missiles, glide bombs, and also in Kharkiv, they used the cluster bombs that send out shrapnel to maximize damage. So far, 8 or 9 confirmed dead, but that number will probably rise significantly. 70 to 80 injured, the most of that in Kiev. And, you know, the timing of this, right? When, you know, the Trump administration is saying we have to reach a peace deal. Well, it's the Putin, Russia's army that is not clearly interested in peace by doing this brazen attack. It's one of the worst we've seen in a long, long time. And, just horrible, horrible suffering on top of what's happening in the past 3+ years already in Ukraine.
Yeah, and we're seeing some of that horrific footage.
Military capabilities for combat readiness. Beijing has test-fired a non-nuclear hydrogen bomb. The test comes amid rising tensions in the South China Sea. The test induced a chain reaction that produced fireball exceeding temperatures of 1,000 degrees Celsius. The bomb, developed by China State Shipbuilding Corporation's Research Institute, allows precise control over blast intensity. Researchers say it can spread uniform destruction across vast areas and also carry out a concentrated strike on a single high-value point. Unlike nuclear bombs, the hydrogen bomb uses a material called magnesium hydride that is capable of storing more hydrogen than pressurized tanks. This concentrated ball of mass ignites with minimal ignition energy and unleashes sustained flames of hydrogen gas that race outward rapidly. China is ramping up production of magnesium hydride. Beijing has developed a big factory in Shaanxi that can make 150 tons of this material each year. Apart from military use, the device can also be used to power submarines.